welcome to our home. I'm Dr. Russ, and you're in Southeast Michigan. Well, we're going to have some fun today. Our concern is that these are just a month or two before the hunting seasons begin. And if you're not doing something now, you're going to lose out, I promise you. One of the things we're specifically going to talk about is trail cameras. And these trail cameras are made by a dozen manufacturers. I'm not going to push one more than another, but I can tell you they've got some great features, and you'll see why they're such a help before we're over. First of all, let me just talk a little bit about game. You and I sleep at night, and then during the day we work and we eat. Game sleeps at night, and then they eat during the day, except for the nocturnals. The nocturnal animals, deer is one of them, raccoons another, but they like to eat at night and sleep during the day. And those two locations are typically different places. They want to sleep in a very safe place, probably a swamp, a thick, brambly type area where they can stay hidden. And then during the night, they want to get to where the food is. The food might be a cornfield. It might be garbage cans. Who knows what it's going to be? It could be a barn full of loose corn, and that's where all the rats come at night. But we need to know, number one, is our game nocturnal, or is it traditional daytime? We need to know where they're sleeping and where they're hunting, and trail cameras and some little tracking can help us find that out. So for sake of discussion today, let's pretend that these woods up here on your left is where they're sleeping at night. They're sleeping during the day. And let's also imagine that that berm just on the other side of this water is one of their trails, what we call their patterns of movement. And then let's pretend that the food is over here on the other side in those woods. We've got to discover those kinds of places before we can effectively hunt this coming fall. Wild boar, oh, they're easy. They're not nocturnal. They can be. But tracking them is no problem. If you've ever tracked a rototiller, that's about what it's like with wild boar. Deer, just a little bit more difficult. You want to know those footprints. You like to see the heavier front footprint. That's because they're carrying a lot of weight on their head, the antlers. Tiny little tracks around garbage cans. We know those are raccoons. But we want to be able to track them. And you need to get out and find out, is that a trail that they follow or not? And often, the big bucks, if we're deer hunting, would like to stay apart from them. So they're tracking their own trail, and the females and their pups are tracking on another. But the males are watching them. And then when it comes to a feeding area, they all come together. When it's a sleep area, they all come together. We need to find out those areas, and this is the time to do it. One of the things that helps us do it is a trail camera. And trail cameras are strapped to a tree, except that a lot of these get stolen these days. I mean, these aren't cheap anymore. They start at about $100 and go up to $500. And so you'll find more and more with a circular hole here in the back. That's for cable and a lock. So you can lock it. The only way somebody's going to steal is they got to cut the tree down. The more of these you have, the better. And I was on the internet the other day and found out you can buy these in groups of 2 and 4 and 8. So you can check out a lot of areas. I think probably the outfitters are buying those groups so that they can track an entire area well and identify the patterning of the wild game. Also, these cameras, you can get them clear up. You pay a monthly cellular fee on them, and they'll just send pictures to you in the privacy of your home onto your cell phone and see what's out there without ever visiting them. Otherwise, we need to go up, and if they do have a screen, we can check the pictures on the screen. If they don't, we can pull out a card that has the prints on it and put it in a computer at home and check them out. We can make these still shots every time there's motion. Motion detector, which is right here, is right here, determines that there is game in front of us, and the pictures begin. They can be still pictures, they can be infrared night pictures, and they can be videos. This particular camera will take a 10-second video, a 20, a 30, 40, 50, even 1-minute videos to capture whatever it is that we're on. There's different modes, like I say. Here's a button to eject the SD card, to take it to our computer, and the on button. Often your first picture is you looking at the camera and saying it's strapped to the tree, it looks good, you push it on and close this up, and that's the first picture, is you setting it up. Other than that, these can be very, very helpful. Where is that big buck? I find that the largest of the game is also the most cautious. That's how they became the big buck, the big raccoon, the big rat, whatever. And so they're slow at venturing out into feeding areas and onto these paths. That means that you want to be on these paths as early in the morning as possible and as late in the evening, because that's when you'll spot the big ones coming and going. You'll want good optics, either the scope on your gun or the binoculars you're using, to catch those early light big bucks, big animals moving at that time. You'll want to enter your hunting area from a side. So again, pretending that that berm is the path. We don't want to start at one end and walk our way up that path, leaving our scent and smell and prints all over the place. What we want to do is enter it, say, from a 90-degree angle and sit down and be there on that trail. Some little things that we can do, some tricks that can help us, is I've seen guys put thumbtacks, shiny thumbtacks, reflective thumbtacks on the trees to help you find your blind at 5 in the morning when it's pitch black, or to work your way out at 7 when it's pitch black. Just by a flashlight, you can see those shiny thumbtacks all the way out. That's comforting to know. You don't get lost out there. We get some lost hunters every year. Sometimes we find them and sometimes we don't. Another trick, and this is whether it's legal in some states, it's not legal in others. Not legal here in Michigan, but to bait. It helps to put some food somewhere near your trail that you're watching and you're blind, so that the animal slows down, spends a little time there, so that you can get the perfect shot. When we're talking about powder rifles, I often put in my mind a basketball balancing on these front 2 legs. And the basketball, which is the main chest, all I have to do is hit that basketball. I don't have to hit a bullseye, though it's kind of nice if I hit the very center of that basketball. But that basketball is where all the organs are. And I want to shoot an organ. I don't want to shoot the head. Why? Because powder rifles hunters often want to mount the head, and we can't do that if we've blown the head all apart. But air gunners often shoot the head and not the chest. We're not mounting those heads, and it's a sure kill. It drops the animal in its track, and you don't have to do so much trailing. So those are just a few of the things that you want to be sure that you're watching. I wish you good luck. Your luck is going to be helped by getting out now and discovering some of these tricks I've given you over the video. I hope that you give us a thumbs up. I've told you, Google will give us a thumbs down if you don't. In their algorithm, their recipe of whose videos are constantly being displayed in front of the eyes of a zillion global watchers. So give us a thumbs up if you will. Subscribe. If you subscribe, you'll get notice of our videos, and they're all about becoming more air gun sharp. Today was being air gun, or rather trail camera sharp for your hunting. And we bring out a new one every 2 weeks. think this is number 22, and we have over 50,000 viewers. And if you do all of the things and want to have a question, I always answer those comments personally. Please leave them. I check it most every morning. And lastly, if you watch them all, why? And the answer is, I want you to be airgun sharp.